Rams 27, Colts 20.
Yeah.
The Rams do it again, man. 3 touchdowns from Matthew Stafford. Puka Nacua scores his first receiving touchdown of the season, which seems like an insane thing to say because he's been so hyper productive. 15 targets, 13 catches. He's just on absolute fire right now. He is 500 yards. I mean, is he on pace for 2,000 at this point? He's got to be pretty close. Just an insane season from Puka Nacua that just continues to get better and better seemingly each week.
And another trip for him to the medical tent. I can't.
Of course,
each week we can't keep doing this, man. Yes, he's going to get all the volume, but you always wind up looking down at your phone, or you see the blip run across of Puka having to go to the injury tent. And I don't want to have to do this every week, man, because we came into this game where it was Davante Adams was the one with the injury concerns, right, with the hamstring injury, and he still winds up finding the box as well. But just an absolute stellar performance from Matthew Stafford. I mean, the dude can still sling it at this age. And of course, like we were talking earlier this morning, I mean, all the back injury concerns for Matthew Stafford, and to see him go up against what we have come to see as being a well-coached Colts defense by former Bengals DC Lou Anarumo, 375 yards, 3 touchdowns. Nothing more, like no negatives really to take away from Matthew Stafford in this particular game. So if you have Puka Nacua on your roster, you're excited. And of course, if you wind up taking the plunge with Davante Adams as well, you have to be happy with potential limitations for Adams given the hamstring injury. But still, those are his 2 guys right now. It is Puka Nacua and Davante Adams, and really nobody else. Because even though Tutu Adams called game here, or Tutu Atwell rather called game with the touchdown, we're not. I would not advise anybody to rush to the waiver wire to pick up him. So it's really just those 2 guys for right now.
Yeah, that was his lone catch of the day, the 88-yard touchdown to Atwell. Yeah, for any limitations that we thought we'd see out of Davante Adams, he ran a route on 96% of the dropbacks. So he was out there, ended up getting you over 13 fantasy points. He did his thing. He caught the touchdown. That was obviously fantastic. This is kind of the exact way you'd expect these 2 guys to be used together. I just, as long as Puka's on the field, I don't see this changing. He's basically the guy that is going to get all the design stuff. He just is consistently getting the screens. Even the touchdown today, just a quick slant route against man coverage. He just scoots on into the end zone. And hey, we're on our way to another monster fantasy performance. So yeah, I mean, I get it. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when we see the injuries, but he just gets back on the field and catches like 6 more passes. So,
I know. It just has zero concern for his body. It's just, I'm doing this and I'm going to wind up getting over 10 targets, and that's what we're doing.
We'll see as long as Matthew Stafford's back holds up. And right now it's looking fine. It's looking like all that August worrying was for nothing. Who knows if that's going to last forever, but I'm riding this gravy train until the wheels fall off. I'll tell you that much. In the backfield, only update there is that not much has changed. Kyren Williams, 13 carries, 77 yards. Blake Corum, 9 carries, 21 yards. So a little bit more of a split. He also had 2 catches for -5 yards, did Blake Corum. Kyren Williams, 3 for 17. So they did say they want to mix Blake Corum in a little bit more, but Kyren Williams is still the lead back here. So just if you're downgrading Kyren Williams at all, it's very, very, very small. Let's talk about the Colts here. I think this was overall a pretty good offensive performance from the Colts, but the problem is they had 2 interceptions from Daniel Jones, which we hadn't seen for the vast majority of the season. Both of them, I think he kind of had a little bit too much dip on his chip, tried to force a couple passes, and then, man, A.D. Mitchell, brother.
Oh, bro. What are we doing? After Jonathan Taylor did the same thing last year, and we're going to do this again?
Oh, my God, yeah. So if you didn't watch the game, A.D. Mitchell obviously starts at the X receiver position in place of Alec Pierce, who's in concussion protocol. He actually leads the team with 96 receiving yards on just 3 catches because of this long one where he just sticks the ball out too early, fumbles it into the end zone. Obviously, what should have been a long touchdown becomes a touchback. Rams get the ball. And then later, Jonathan Taylor rips off a long touchdown run, and A.D. Mitchell gets called for a needless hold on, again, what would have been a critical late touchdown run for this team. So, man, it was just the play that A.D. Mitchell made to catch the pass was sick. How it ended made you a little sick to your stomach. So that is the A.D. Mitchell experience, and I mean that's kind of the biggest story coming out of here from the Colts pass catchers.
if I was AD Mitchell, I would just go ahead and not even go to the locker room. I'd just hop on, like, just book my own plane ride home, and then that's it. It just, I'll see y'all at home. Great game, everybody. This one's on me, and I'll just catch my own flight home. I'll just find my own way back, because that was tough. Because just because they had it, it's a touchdown difference in terms of how much they lost, 27-20. He walks into that, they at least force OT at that point. So at least they bring it back within a one score game, or not one score game, but I mean, they wind up tying it at that point. So it's just, that's my, I don't know, no good, very bad day for AD Mitchell. And also, I would say my general concern for Michael Pittman, I mean, 10 targets on the day, so the opportunity is going to be there for Daniel Jones, number one, but also a number of inaccurate throws, I would say, for Daniel Jones on a couple of them. And you'd hope to see him be a bit more involved in future games, like from a reception standpoint. And also, let's talk a bit about Tyler Warren, man, because it wasn't just the fact that he wound up mixing in for 6 targets, a rushing touchdown for Tyler Warren in this game as well. I mean, taking a score away from Jonathan Taylor. I was really surprised to see, I mean, he got 2 cracks at it, if I'm remembering correctly, in order to find his way into the end zone. So Shane Steichen trying to mix things up. I think that was good to see, to get their rookie tight end involved. So if this is the type of usage we can expect from him after something of a lull in week 3, seeing him pick back up from a receiving standpoint was pretty good for folks that got Warren on the roster.
Let's go to the next game here, back into the early window. Eagles 31, Buccaneers 25. I mean, what can you say about the damn Eagles, bro? This is just another good team win with almost no one outside of Hurts managers and some folks who started Dallas Goedert, which was 20% of Yahoo leagues, so not even close to the majority. Those are the only people who come out of this happy from a fantasy football perspective. Specifically, who might not be happy is A.J. Brown, who's in the middle of, not in the middle of, but at some point during the late window was in the middle of a tweet spree, maybe getting his feelings out there. If you're watching with us on YouTube, you can see one of the quotes that he put up, a screenshot of, "If you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene. Shrug your shoulders and be on your way," which is the most wide receiver cryptic tweet I've ever seen to post this quote. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's about, but that's what he's putting out there after this game. And it is a win, but it's another frustrating Eagles offensive performance, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and folks that will try and analyze this game and look at some of the metrics and stuff that go behind the scenes, I would look at this, and I took a look at the numbers. 71% of the team's air yards went to A.J. Brown. That did not look like, those were more prayer yards than air yards, if anything else. And to your point, reading that tweet, all I can think about was Denny Carter's tweet from I don't know how many years ago about the wide receivers. Speaks kindly but holds a knife. But those are the types of things. Isn't
AJ Brown the one who actually put that? I think he actually
said
might
that quote. Be.
He did. I'm pretty sure he actually tweeted that at one point. The enemy speaks kindly and holds a knife. I'm pretty sure he actually did.
So this kind of works out that he's still doing it here in 2025, because those are the things that we look at, or we try and at least project volume based off of how often these guys are used. And so, around a 30% target share and 70% of the team's air yards. Of course, you want to start that guy, but 2 catches for 7 yards, that's not going to get it done for you. I mean, really the only thing that I guess I'm not concerned, because these are the ups and downs that the Eagles passing game is going to have week in and week out. We kind of raised those yellow flags in week 1 when they played against the Cowboys secondary. But now I think the bigger concern for me right now is what's going on with Saquon Barkley, man. Yes, he got into the end zone. Question. But not seeing really the level of explosive runs for the Eagles running game after how many 100-yard games do we see out of Barkley week in and week out in 2024? I'd say that's my larger concern coming out of it, because the Eagles passing game, yes, that's going to be something of an up and down battle, just how they typically like to run their offense. It's been more run heavy over the past 3 to 4 years, but Barkley not really getting it down on the ground outside of the touchdown. That's my biggest concern coming out of this game.
It's a great call out. And early on in this game, I felt Kevin Patullo is the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles that I've been a little bit hard on this year. But I thought coming in the first few drives, he had some nice moments, kind of replacing some of the slam it up the gut runs that haven't been working with some quicker throws and using that as sort of a augmentation of the run game. But then it felt like as the game went on, probably because they were for a long time nursing a pretty big lead over Tampa Bay, who came back into this thing, it sort of felt as if they went back into their shell. And Last year when the Eagles would go into the run heavy shell, they'd rip one for 30, 40, 50 yards at some point. That just hasn't happened yet, man. And I don't know how much of it is a Barkley issue and how much of it is, I mean, it's the same run game. Jeff Stoutland, the run game coordinator, offensive line coach, it's not as if they've changed schematically up front. They have had some injuries on the offensive line. Lane Johnson was also banged up again. I don't know how much to attribute it there. But, yeah, I think a lot of the headlines, I'm glad you said this, because a lot of the headlines are going to be about A.J. Brown and the cryptic tweets and, his lack of production outside of the second half of the Rams game. But I think the run game is maybe potentially the bigger issue. Barkley's surviving from a fantasy standpoint, but you just wonder how long that is going to go on. Let's go to the Bucs here. We saw a Chris Godwin return. We saw no Mike Evans in this one. And I think we got a lot of clues about the wide receiver usage. So Emeka Egbuka ran a route on 74.4% of the dropbacks, 10 targets, just 29% slot snaps. Chris Godwin, they said he was going to be limited. Not really. 72.1% route participation, 10 targets, just 26% slot snaps. That is interesting. Meanwhile, Sterling Shepard, 53.5% of the routes, 4 targets, but he was the main slot guy at 55%. So I think the Godwin stuff is going to be an ongoing thing. You said this morning on FFL. You weren't rushing out to play Chris Godwin, which I think is right. And his role in this offense not being that power slot receiver, we've seen him have his best seasons when he's been that guy. Maybe this is just a 1 week thing, but Emeka Egbuka and Chris Godwin as the outside receivers, both of those guys, but especially Godwin, I think, are more weaponized in the slot.
Yeah, and that's where I do have some, I wouldn't say concerns, but it's just how is this all going to shake out? Because to your point, Godwin plays well as that power slot role. Igbuka, while he has been able to perform both inside and out, his touchdown came from the slot, on a big gain. And we've also seen him actually perform well. I think he hit maybe a 20-yard gain on a crossing pattern as well. So it's Egbuka averaging 10.3 yards after the catch per reception in this game. That's how he got to 100 yards, because he catches those short to intermediate passes and he can do so well as a receiver after the catch. That's how we wind up giving him, we were talking earlier today, A+ right now from a receiving standpoint, in his rookie season. So I do have some, again, not concerns, but I want to see how they're going to deploy each of these guys, because all of them play so well from the interior without having that big perimeter presence from Mike Evans. How is this really going to shake out for each of them moving forward? And it's not just them. I'll give credit to Baker Mayfield, because the dude's just a gamer with how many offensive line injuries they've continued to have. While he didn't really show up from an efficiency standpoint as a passer, him still being able to distribute the ball, whether it's been to Godwin or Egbuka or even Sterling Shepard, they were still able to at least make a solid comeback against this Eagles defense we've known to be something suffocating to other offenses. So that's really where I wouldn't say, again, concern is not the word, but it's just how are they going to continue to mold this offense to fit the pass catchers they have? Because all three of them really, they prefer to be on the inside, but how is that going to shake out moving forward? That's really my biggest question.
Yeah, I'm tracking that as well. And I do want to just say, they were down 24-6 at the end of the first half. I always try to, and I've been saying this a lot this year, I don't want to overreact to these small sample sizes and negative game scripts. So let's see what Chris Godwin's role looks like next week, because he did, as we showed, Jacob Gibbs pointed out that he had the highest air yards that he's had in a minute. So that is definitely something to track. Just real quick, and then I'll throw it to the next game. Bucky Irving, what a beast. I know he had the pretty costly fumble here, but man, he was awesome in this game. A touchdown through the air, 165 yards from scrimmage, 20 touches. He's just so fun to watch. You just always think he's about to get tackled, and then slips down and keeps getting extra yardage down the football field. So just an incredibly fun player. The Bucs are still very fun, despite being one of the most injured teams